This is the story of the Wolfman of Babylon. It's the story of Nebuchadnezzar from the book of Daniel in the Bible. Nebuchadnezzar in the Bible is actually Nebuchadnezzar II. Nebuchadnezzar II reigned 563 years after Nebuchadnezzar I came to power. Nebuchadnezzar. Man, that name is a beast to pronounce. Can we call him Nebby? How about Nebdog? I'm going with Nebdog for the rest of this video. All right, where was I? Oh, Nebdog had a weird relationship with God. He had already thrown Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego into the furnace for not worshiping his golden idol. At that time, he saw God rescue them unharmed and proclaimed that anyone who spoke against the God of the Jews should be torn limb from limb. Not exactly the best way to share your appreciation of God, but, he's new. He was new to it, so. Anyway, his newfound admiration of the God of Daniel didn't last. Old Nebdog became arrogant and prideful. The Bible says that God opposes the proud but gives grace to the humble. So Nebdog has a dream. And in his dream, everything's all weird, the way dreams are. It was about a big tree that the whole world could see. The tree was beautiful with beautiful leaves and nice fruit. All the animals took refuge under its shade. It was a great tree. Then an angel appeared and said, "Chop it down. Let the animals and birds flee, but leave the stump in the ground." I'm paraphrasing, of course, but you get the idea. Then it says, "Put a band of iron around the stump. Let him be drenched with dew. Eat grass with the animals. Let his mind change from that of a human, and let an animal's mind be given to him." This sentence is by the decree of the angelic watchers. The watchers. We're going to do a video on them, so look out for it. In order that the living may know that the Most High is ruler over the realm of mankind, and he grants authority to whomever he wishes. So old Nebdog gets freaked out and calls Daniel. He asks Daniel to interpret the dream, and Daniel says, "I wish this dream was about one of your enemies, but it's all about you. You're the tree that's going to be chopped down. Basically, you're going to lose your authority and you're going to lose your mind. You're going to think you're an animal. You're going to live with the beasts of the field, eating grass, getting wet with dew, and so on. But don't worry. That whole part about leaving the stump, that means you'll grow back after you learn your lesson." And of course, the king of Babylon repents of his pridefulness and doesn't have to go through all that. Just kidding. He completely forgets about it. And a year later, he's on a roof in Babylon, looking over this amazing place, and he says, "Is this not Babylon the Great, which I myself has built as a royal residence by the might of my power and for the honor of my majesty?" So almost instantly, he starts to lose his mind. He has the mind of a wild animal. He gets driven away from people. He lives in the fields eating grass. His hair grows long and his nails grow out like claws. This goes on for 7 seasons. Imagine this king living in the woods looking like this wild wolf man with claws. And his advisors must have kept it a secret. Otherwise, many opponents would have had to try to take over the throne in his absence. And remember, Daniel was one of his top advisors, so Daniel probably kept everyone calm while old Nebdog was having his 21-month episode there. Finally, the king snaps out of it. He gets his mind back, and he acknowledges that God is ultimately in control. He turns back to the palace, regains respect among the court officials, and everything is good. Unless there's a full moon, then he freaks out again. Not really. But what happens here? There is a real disease called clinical lycanthropy. It's defined as a rare psychiatric syndrome that involves a delusion that the affected person transforms into an animal. And I think when he got prideful, God said, I already got a disease that's just perfect for you, dude. And he let him get struck with this affliction and live like an animal in the woods until he learned that God opposes the proud and gives grace to the humble.